Jana Van Gytenbeek. She joins us again on Sic'Em 365 Radio, 365 Sports. So, this day and age of college sports, there's the transfer portal. There's so much going on. So can you kind of go over the process when you entered the portal, and how quickly did you connect with Baylor?
Yeah, when I entered the portal, it kind of everything went really fast. I got reached out to by a lot of wonderful people and places. So that was really great. And then Baylor reached out, on that first day. And then we just got the relationship building and stuff like that.
So you commit to them. What was it like to get that out of the way? What did it mean to you and the emotions with it?
Yeah, it felt really exciting. I feel very lifted and happy. I'm just really excited and grateful for this experience and opportunity that I get to have now.
Were you recruited by Baylor when you were in Colorado?
I was not. I committed pretty early to Stanford as a sophomore, and so I didn't really go through the process. But yeah.
So you made a trip here, right?
Yes, I took a visit.
What were your thoughts about just the campus? I know Stanford is a gorgeous, incredible place to be a student athlete or a student or anything, but your thoughts about the trip to Baylor and your what you enjoyed the most?
What I enjoyed the most was the people, for sure. I mean, the way that they communicated and interacted with each other was just so beautiful to me. They immediately made me feel like I was at home, and I just felt the love. It was great. That was definitely my favorite part.
Reading what you do, which is shoot the ball, your thoughts about the new offensive style when Nikki took over, Coach Mulkey now at LSU, and she implemented this style that obviously shoots the ball much more from the outside. How much did that come into play with your decision?
The offensive philosophy comes into my decision pretty heavily. I think that Coach Nikki is an incredible coach and is just knows what offense to run, knows what defense to run, knows just dependent on who her players are. And I think that her ability to adapt and use her strengths is super helpful and makes me really confident in her.
You were a five-star player. You mentioned committing early as a sophomore in high school to Stanford, and of course the history at Stanford. You were part of a national championship team as well. You haven't been able to play as much as perhaps people would think. Is that just obviously because how deep Stanford has been? Is it just not worked out?
Stanford is super deep. All of my teammates are insane basketball players. They're so good. I think a lot of that depth made us have to be flexible and just stay ready for when we would go in or when we would have our shot. But yeah, I mean, we're a really great team, and my teammates are incredible, and we made it to the Final Four, so it's no complaints.
What's it like to be a part of an NCAA championship?
It's unreal. It doesn't even feel real when they talk about it. Sometimes I'm like, wow, we really did that last year. It feels amazing to know that, especially in a COVID year, how hard it was that year and how close our team got. It was just something really special, and it felt really great.
Did you ever at all reach out to Dejanay Carrington? She was a Stanford transfer that played at Baylor and obviously had a tremendous run, now a part of the WNBA.
Yeah, I reached out to Dejanay when I went on my visit. I just told her that I was there and whatnot, and she's been really great. She's a good role model.
So I heard, this is interesting, your family, my goodness, you talk about athletes, they're everywhere. Your father, your mother, Colorado Softball Hall of Fame. Your dad played at Regis University, also at the minor league level. Your uncle was a gymnast at Brigham Young. Keep going, right? Another uncle, track and field, Colorado State. Another one was at Western State College, an alpine ski racer. Your brother played baseball at West Point, and your sister played softball at Yale. You had no chance but to be an athlete, right?
Yeah, it just runs in the family. I love sports. We're all really competitive. My parents are great role models for that, and just as people. So are my sister and brother. So I've been really lucky.
And I don't mean to leave out your grandfather, Peter. Played football and baseball at Princeton. We're talking about some major, unbelievable, not only sports, but academic institutions. West Point, Yale, obviously Princeton. You were at Stanford. You're coming to Baylor. How much of a standard did you know that you not had to live up to, but you knew what the standard was?
Yeah, my family is really big on academics first, and then, well, actually probably being a good person first, and then academics. I knew I had, expectations from my family, but also I always have their support no matter what. So that's good to lean back on.
Your brother, is he stationed overseas?
He is. He's currently in Kuwait.
What's that like?
I don't get to talk to him much, but I know that it was his dream to do this, and I'm really proud of him, and I'm super happy for him.
Awesome. I'm a military brat from way back, obviously. My dad was a Naval Academy graduate, so I like connected to that as well. Your grandmother, 100% Japanese, from Okinawa. I lived in Japan, Jana, from 1972 to 76, before my senior year in high school. My dad was military, lived in Japan, and actually played a football game in Okinawa, which is where she was from.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, and that's so unique. But she has a story. She was there during a very, very obviously difficult time during World War II. Is that correct?
Uh-huh.
What's the story about where she lived?
She lived in a cave for 3 years.
She lived in a cave.
Yes.
Does that also help you realize how fortunate not only you are, but we are with what we have?
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine living in a cave for like 2 days.
I'm not sure I would ever want to go in there for a few hours, much less, and I'm not trying to make light of it. I'm kind of claustrophobic. Did you ever sit down and talk with her about that?
We've talked a little bit about it. Something that my dad wants to do is write a book on it and just really hear her stories. I've heard a couple crazy ones, but I definitely want to take more time to learn about it.
That's awesome. Your family, the background, it's incredible. And then what you've done as well. So what are the plans? When do you finish out your semester at Stanford? And then when do you arrive in Waco?
My semester ends early June, and then I'll go straight to Baylor. I'll go straight to Waco.
What has Coach Collin and staff said to you about your role and also being a part of this roster?
Yeah, I think they expect me to come in and work really hard. Just like I want to, and I know that they have faith in me. I'm just really excited to work as hard as I can and make Coach Nikki proud.
You have a smile on your face?
Yes.
You can almost sense it. Just to have this out of the way, you can move on, finish up your grades at a great place, and come to another great place. Jana, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. I know you got class to get to, and look forward to covering you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
You too. Jana Van Gytenbeek, new player at Baylor University from Stanford, Sic'Em 365 Radio, 365 Sports.